Hi guys! Welcome back sa ating channel, and for this episode, let me share with you ang breakdown ng aming expenses when we stayed in Japan for 30-ish days, traveling to Narita, Sapporo, Tokyo, Nikko, and Hakone. Before we get started, let me just share with you our method of payments na ginamit namin while we are in Japan. We will be using credit card whenever possible. We only plan to use one credit card para centralize ang ating expenses. For convenience din and for air miles na specific sa gagamitin namin, which is yung Metrobank World Credit Card. I will leave the link of the credit card details in the description below. We'll be using cash naman only when needed. Kasi yung mga transportation services nila, they don't usually accept credit cards when loading your Suica or Transpo cards or buying train tickets. When acquiring Japanese yen naman, we never go to currency exchanges lalo na yung mga nasa airports dahil sa ridiculous rates. We use ATM to withdraw Japanese yen dahil mas fair pa yung exchange rates ng mga banks compared to money changers. When withdrawing abroad, make sure to withdraw 10,000 pesos or more para hindi kayo matalo sa international withdrawal fee that costs around 200 to 300 pesos per withdrawal. And last but not the least is whenever we travel, we usually use one credit card and one debit card for security reasons na din. In case ma-compromise yung cards namin, at least alam namin na yung mga cards lang na ginamit namin ang compromise at madaling mag-block if kailangan. For this trip, we stayed for a total of 28 days in Japan, staying at Narita, Sapporo, Tokyo, Nikko, and Hakone. You can see in the screen yung schedule namin and where we stayed for this trip respectively. Just a quick note lang na I will be sharing with you is the expense for 2 people, but will also give you how much it costs per person whenever I can. To get started, ang first expense namin of course is ang ating round-trip plane ticket to Japan that cost around 9,400 pesos or 4,700 pesos per person. We bought this ticket around 4 months before going to Japan during Cebu Pacific seat sale. Bago kami umalis ng bansa as tourists, need din natin syempre magbayad ng travel tax which costs around 1,620 per person. We also purchased travel insurance na nagkakahalaga naman ng 1,500 per person. We personally think na importante ito when traveling abroad kasi you never know what is going to happen as things might not get according to your plan due to trip cancellations or medical reasons. So it is important na we get ourselves covered. For travel insurance, we used Pacific Cross. Mag-leave na lang ako ng link for more details in the description below. For the internet connectivity naman, we purchased a SIM card that cost 2,000 pesos na valid for 31 days. Unlimited siya supposedly pero bumabagal na kapag nag-exceed kayo sa 2 gig daily limit. Ang first stop natin for this trip is Narita where we stayed for 2 days touring Omotesando Street and nearby shrine and park. For the accommodation, we paid 2,600 pesos for 2 packs na for a night ng stay namin sa Narita Sando Guest House. Sobrang cozy ng place na to and we really like yung common area nila na nagamit namin for work. For the transportation ay bumili kami ng Welcome Suica card na available for tourists for free and niloadan lang namin ito ng tig 2,000 yen or 800 pesos. For the food naman, we spent around 1,500 pesos for 2 person na for 2 days eating out and buying food and snacks sa mga convenience stores. In total, we spent around 5,700 pesos or 2,850 pesos per person during our stay in Narita. Next stop naman namin is Sapporo where we stayed for 11 days which is the longest time we stayed during our Japan trip. We took our time to visit Sapporo Tower, Clock Tower, Sapporo Beer Museum, Mount Moiwa Ropeway, Shirokoibito Park, and some of the public parks in Sapporo katulad ng Odori and Nakajima Park. We also visited nearby town in Sapporo katulad ng Suzuki-no, Otaru, and Yosankei, which is my personal favorite. For the transportation, we spent 12,000 pesos for a round-trip ticket to Sapporo including one baggage for 2 persons. Nagloading kami ng total of 15,000 yen or 5,850 pesos each for our Suica card. Sa accommodation naman, we spent 19,000 pesos for 2 person for 10 nights of stay sa isang Airbnb studio type apartment. For the food, gumastos kami ng total of 14,500 pesos which we spent buying groceries, buying food sa convenience stores, and eating out for 2 person. Pumapatak ng 660 pesos per person per day ang nagagastos namin sa pagkain. Ito naman ang list of entrance fees or tickets na binayaran namin: visiting Zuzuran Park, Mount Moiwa Ropeway, Shirokoibito Park, Hoheikyo Dam, and Yosankei Onsen, which cost around 4,400 pesos in total. In total, we spent 61,600 pesos during our stay in Sapporo for 2 persons, which cost around 30,800 pesos per person. After Sapporo, we stayed at Tokyo for 5 days to work and visit our relatives. Isa sa mga pinsan ni Jean ay nagwo-work dito sa Tokyo, Japan, and she is generous enough to lend us her place for us to stay habang nasa Tokyo kami. We are able to visit Shibuya, Asakusa, Tokyo Tower, Odaiba, Akihabara, and a side trip to Yokohama. We spent a total of 20,000 yen of Suica card load for the transportation for 2 packs na. Sa accommodation naman ay wala kaming binayaran since we are staying with relatives. For the food naman ay gumastos kami ng 14,000 pesos na na-spent namin sa groceries and eating out, which includes my birthday celebration na din where we spent around 7,000 pesos eating high-quality yakiniku with Wagyu beef. In total, we spent 21,800 pesos or 10,900 pesos per person during our first part ng stay namin sa Tokyo. From Tokyo, we purchased a Nikko travel pass to visit Nikko, Japan for 3 days and 2 nights. The travel pass already includes a round-trip train ticket from Asakusa Station to Tobuniko Station. It also includes bus rides around Nikko area and scenic ferry rides sa Chozenji Lake. Some of the notable landmarks and attractions na napuntahan namin is the British Embassy Villa, Italian Embassy Villa, Chozenji Lake, Kegon Falls, Shinko Bridge, and Nikko World Heritage. For the transportation, it is already covered by our Nikko Travel Pass which costs around 1,900 pesos per person. Sa accommodation naman ay gumastos kami ng 6,500 pesos for 2 packs for 2 nights na. For the food ay nag-spend kami around 3,000 pesos for 2 person for 3 days. For the entrance fee naman ay gumastos lang kami ng 230 pesos per person which is the elevator ride for a more scenic view ng Kegon Falls. All in all, we spent around 14,000 pesos while staying at Nikko. After Nikko ay bumalik ulit kami sa apartment ng relative namin sa Tokyo to work for 3 days and gumala after office hours and meet up with friends and relatives na nasa Tokyo din at that time. We also went to a Coldplay concert dahil nakabili kami ng infinity tickets which only cost 1,000 pesos per person. We spent 2,000 pesos each for the transpo and around 9,500 pesos naman for the food. Our accommodation is still free since we are still staying with our relatives. During this time naman in Tokyo, we spent a total of 15,500 pesos. Last but not the least of our Japan itinerary is a 3 days and 2 nights stay at Hakone with a Gotemba side trip. We were able to check out Hakone Shrine, Old Tokaido Highway, Hakone Checkpoint, embark in a scenic ferry ride, and visit the Owakudani Valley. For the transpo ay nag-purchase kami ng 2-day Hakone Pass which already includes a round-trip bus or train fare from Shinjuku in Tokyo that cost 2,400 per person. Pero since 2-day pass lang ang pinurchase namin ay we have to pay for a bus ticket going to Hakone that cost around 800 pesos per person. Kasama na sa Hakone Pass ang mga bus, train, ferry, and ropeway rides around Hakone area. For our accommodation, we stayed at a cozy, Rilakuma themed Airbnb that cost 3,350 per person for 2 nights. While nasa Hakone kami ay nag-spend naman kami ng 6,500 pesos para sa pagkain. We spent a total of 19,600 pesos for 2 persons while staying in Hakone. All in all, we spent a total of 155,840 pesos or around 78,000 pesos per person while staying in Japan for 28 days. What do you think guys? Sulit ba or hindi ang ganitong budget while staying in Japan for around 30 days? Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or concerns about our Japan trip, please let me know sa comment section. And please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. See you on the next one.